So I woke up at 3 p.m. today, so I am at peak terrible schedule Luna hours. But I'm going to keep the upload streak going. Thank you for all the support on the last couple of videos. You guys have been killing it with the support, the likes, the comments, all that stuff. I've been reading them. I've been seeing you guys. I appreciate you. And yeah, let's keep this streak going of daily uploads. So today's story time is definitely a crazy one. Definitely an interesting one, and definitely one that I can't believe I haven't told yet. I thought that I told this one before, but after looking through my channel for a while, I couldn't find it. So I'm telling you guys today. So this story time all starts off as a normal day in 2016. Now, I was sitting in my room working on a YouTube video like I usually did in 2016. That was pretty much my daily schedule, was just YouTube. But I was sitting in my room working on a video, and my friend Kyle hit me up. And he was like, "What's up, man?" I was like, "What's good?" He's like, "I'm about to go get food. Do you want to join me?" And I was like, "Where are you going?" He's like, "This pizza place up the street from you. It's near your house. Figured I'd ask you." I was like, "Yeah, for sure." So Kyle came over. I took a break from editing my YouTube video, and I went out with him to get pizza. We were there for about an hour and a half. And while me and Kyle were having our pizza, talking, just catching up, Kyle mentioned that he was going to try acid again soon. He'd only done it one other time in his life, and he didn't have a good experience, and he's going to try it again for the first time in 2 years. And I was like, "Oh, that's good, man. Like, make sure you have a good person with you doing it, a trip sitter. Like, make sure you cover all the bases, make sure you're okay, and make sure you're ready. Don't do it if you're not ready. Like, are you ready?" He's like, "Yeah, man, I'm ready, man. Like, it's been a couple years. Back then I was too nervous, but like now I'm good to go. Like, I'm ready." I was like, "Awesome, man. Like, good." He's like, "Do you want to do it with me?" Now, at this point in my life back then, I hadn't done acid in a long time, and I don't think I was ready to do it again. But I thought about it for a second, and I was like, you know what? Kyle's one of my best friends. I don't want him to be scared. Maybe if I do it with him, he'll feel better about it. So for some reason on this day, I was just like, you know what? Yeah, man, why not? I don't know, something about it just felt right. Now, if I could go back in time and not say yes, I probably would. But I said yes. And he's like, "Oh, shit, man, like, that's awesome." I was like, "Yeah, man, for sure." He's like, "We're doing it tonight?" I was like, "All right, let me finish my YouTube video. Let me go home and finish that. Then we can do it." I was like, "Why don't you go drop me off at home? I'll work on the video. I'll be done at like 9:30. He's like, "Okay, man, sounds good." So 9:30 at night rolls along. I finished rendering my video. It was ready for the next day. I scheduled it. And just a few minutes later, Kyle pulls up at my house. But yeah, I quickly pack a bag of clothes for the next day because I figured I'd be sleeping at Kyle's house. And I go with Kyle. Now we get to his house about 20 minutes later. We walk in. There was a couple friends of ours already at Kyle's house. My friend Jonathan was there and my friend Nate. And they were sitting there in the basement just playing some Xbox. Nate was going to be tripping with us. Jonathan was going to be trip sitting. So yeah, there was going to be 3 of us in total tripping and then 1 trip sitter. And I can't lie, for some reason I was very oddly comfortable. Usually I had a lot of anxiety before doing stuff like this or, doing anything. But for some reason I was comfortable. I was with my good friends. We had a trip sitter. Usually when I would trip, it wasn't like that. So I had a good feeling about this. So fast forward 10 minutes later, Kyle goes upstairs for a little bit. And a few minutes later, he comes back downstairs with the acid. Now he had 10 tabs total. So he had a lot more than he needed, I would say. Because most people were only taking 1. And he's like, "Damn, man, I kind of went overkill." I was like, "Yeah, a little bit." He's like, "Oh, well, it's all good. If we have fun, we can do more." I was like, "I don't think I'm doing more, but yeah, man, you do you." He's like, "All right, sweet. So how many do you want?" Now I think about it for a second. Every other time I've tripped, it's been 1. I've taken 1 tab or even a half a tab. So I don't need more than that usually. But once again, for some reason on this night, something had gotten into me and I was just feeling super ambitious and wanting to try something new. So I was like, "You know what? Give me 2. And everyone in the room looks at me. They're like, "Are you sure about that?" Because they knew I only did half a tab or 1 usually. And I was like, "Yeah." And then my friend Nate looks at me and he goes, "Bro, you're 5 pounds. You really want to take 2? I was like, "Yeah, dude, I've done 1. I've done a half of 1. I usually can handle that pretty well." And Nate goes, "No, you can't." I was like, "Fuck you. What do you mean, no, I can't?" He's like, "Austin, you literally have an entire YouTube channel with multiple videos about how bad your trips have been. YouTube.com/Luna. That's you, right? You run that? Yeah. There's 100 fucking videos on there about bad trips. You can do a fucking half a tab and still freak out. Honestly, now that I think about it, fuck you. You're not getting a tab. You're having a Jolly Rancher instead." Now I'm just sitting there thinking okay, this motherfucker Nate really thinks he's funny. So I'm like, "Okay, first of all, Nate, you're not funny. Fuck you. Second of all, suck my dick. I'll be fine. I'm a grown man. And third of all, give me the 2 tabs." And he's like, "All right, man, you want 2? You're going to get 2. I'm just saying I would do 1 if I were you." I was like, "Yeah, whatever. I'll be fine." Little did I know I would not be fine whatsoever. I should have listened to Nate. What can I say? I should have listened to Nate. But yeah, Kyle hands me 2 tabs, and the rest of them get 1, and we all take them together. Now, after about 20 minutes of taking these tabs, we're just sitting on the couch watching Family Guy in the basement, just kind of doing nothing, just chilling, talking to each other, and Nate keeps fucking with me. He's like, Austin, you feel anything yet? You feel it yet? You're gonna freak out, bro. He's just trolling me, right? And I didn't give a fuck. I was like, fuck you, Nate. Like, you're an idiot. And he's like, don't worry, man. It's coming soon. I'm like, okay, Nate. He's like, you're gonna have a new story soon. You're gonna have a new story to put on that YouTube channel about a bad trip. And I was like, no, I won't. Fuck you. He was right. So anyway, about 45 minutes later, at this point, it's been like an hour since I've taken the 2 tabs. I'm feeling it very heavily. It came on very quick. I'm getting visuals. I'm feeling funny. And I'm not having a bad time necessarily. Like, we're just watching Family Guy, talking shit to each other. We're just having fun. It was very much like normal hangout session with my friends, just with a little bit of tripping involved, right? And then Nate goes, yo, we should go out and we should do something. Now, I didn't like that idea. I didn't want to do that because I wanted to sit at home and enjoy the trip. I didn't want to go out and like try and be in public because when you're tripping and you're in public, it's the worst thing in the fucking world. I don't want that. So I was like, nah, I don't know, man. He's like, what? You scared? I was like, yeah, honestly, I am. He's like, come on, let's do something. I was like, okay, what do you want to do? He's like, let's go to a movie. I'm like, nah, man, not a good idea. And all my friends are like, yeah, fuck that, no movie. And then he goes, okay, I have a better idea. There's this haunted house going on, like down the street. Let's go there. It was October, so it was around Halloween time, so a lot of haunted houses and stuff were popping up all over my area. And I did not like that idea one bit. LSD and haunted houses, I just don't think those two mix very well. And I said that. I was like, nah, man, that's a terrible idea. And for some reason, all of my friends were on board with it. Fucking Kyle was like, yeah, man, let's do it. And Jonathan was like, yeah, man, I'm down. And Nate looks at me and he goes, all right, Austin, you're the deciding factor. We going or not? And I really wanted to say no, but everyone was looking at me with these like puppy dog eyes to decide. And I was like, fine. And let me just say, our trip sitter, Jonathan, worst fucking trip sitter ever. Who the fuck takes a group of tripping people to a fucking haunted house? Like, worst place you could go ever. So he drives us there, we buy tickets, and within 10 minutes, we're in this haunted house. We enter in together. It's fucking super dark in there. The lights are off. Any lights that are on are like neon lights and like neon paint and shit like that. Like, we could barely see. And I'm tripping balls. I'm seeing shit. Things are moving that shouldn't be moving. And I'm very much starting to have a bad trip. Now, even though I wasn't having the greatest time, the first 5 minutes of the haunted house weren't too bad. But then we got to this room where there was mirrors everywhere, like all over the walls, all over the ceiling, and then strobe lights started flashing, and it made everybody freak out. Like, you mix that with acid, you can't see a fucking thing, and you feel like you're not even in your body anymore. Like, I literally thought I was having a seizure at one point, because all I could see was strobe lights, and then it would be pitch black, and then when I could see, it would be a mirror, and I'd see myself all morphed and fucked up, and to this day, I can't tell if the mirrors were fucked up, or I was tripping absolute balls, and my vision was just fucked up, but I start freaking out. I look at Nate, and I'm like, dude, I can't do this shit, I'm leaving. He's like, all right, let's go. So we start going back towards where we came in, and like we can't find our way out. We get lost. It's a straight maze in there. And we keep ending up in these rooms where people are scaring us and chasing us. At one point, a motherfucker with a chainsaw chased me. I was having the worst time ever. I literally felt like I was about to have a fucking heart attack. So far, these are all the reasons why you don't fucking do this, right? So finally, we find our way out of the haunted house, right? We find some emergency exit. We run out. I'm catching my breath. I'm freaking out. And Nate taps me on the shoulder. He's like, yo, are you okay? And at this point, the trip was like peaking. Like, I really was feeling all of it at once. And I look over at Nate and I go to say, yeah, I'm good. And I look him in the eyes and his face starts to fucking morph. Like, literally it morphs into what looks like a fucking devil or something. And he goes, are you good? At least I think he said that. And I turn around and I just run away. Literally, I ran away. For some reason in my brain, and this was definitely the acid talking, I just saw him as an enemy. Like, when I saw his face morph like that, and it didn't morph back, I just ran away. I was too scared. And of course, they chase after me to try and catch up to me and make sure I don't get lost in this, like, random big warehouse thing. And I'm thinking they're after me to hurt me, so I'm just running away. Sure enough, I run right back into this fucking haunted house, where there are people in there trying to scare the shit out of you. So Then I get scared again and I run back out. It was all in all a fucking terrible time, right? This whole time I'm going through this, I'm seeing shit. The walls are fucking moving. Like, I can't tell what's the haunted house and what's the acid trip. Like, it was just not good. So finally, I get out of the haunted house again, and my friends come up to me, and Jonathan runs up to me. He's like, dude, we're leaving. I don't know why I thought it was a good idea to bring you guys here. We're out of here. So me, Nate, Kyle, Jonathan, we all group back up with Jonathan. We leave, we get in his car, we drive home, and we ride the rest of the trip out in Kyle's basement like we should have the entire time, because going out in public was stupid, especially a haunted fucking house where literally there's strobe lights, mirrors, scary people with masks on, and just terrible shit all around that don't mix well with an acid trip. So yeah, we rode the rest of the trip out. The rest of that trip was still very strong at Kyle's house. Like, I couldn't look at people's faces. I was just staring at the TV, and even staring at the TV wasn't good because things were moving around, not how they should be, and like in a scary way. Like, anytime I'd see a face on the TV, it would look like a monster or some shit. But that was better than looking at a real person, so that's what I did. And everything was moving way too much. I just did not have a good time. Needless to say, Nate was right. I took too much. And also, the haunted house didn't help either. Who knows what would have happened if I just never went to that haunted house. Maybe it would have been a completely different experience. I think it probably would have. But yeah, guys, the rest of that trip, I wrote it out. It wasn't very good, but I got to the end of it. Even the next day, I was still feeling effects. Literally, like 24 hours later, I was still feeling a little bit strange. So, yeah, needless to say, I took too much. And Nate was right, but also fuck him because he didn't help at all. And he was a shitty friend to trip with. But yeah, guys, that's it. I was okay. Everybody was okay. I learned my lesson the hard way, and so did the rest of us. Moral of the story is, just don't repeat anything I did in this story time for your own safety. Yeah. But yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed this story time. If you did, please leave a like on the video. I'd really appreciate it. Feel free to leave your story times in the comments down below, and subscribe if you're new. I'll see you guys all later. Peace.
Forever, no, it won't change. Try to show love, you a fake ass bitch. If you wanna pull up, we can fade that shit. Look, don't touch, yeah, I hate that shit. Heard you got a new song, never played that shit.